Welcome, everybody joining us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. This session I have been thinking about for quite some time because it is quite possibly, I know I'm biased because I am, working for Canvas now, but Canva is my all-time favorite ed tech tool in the world. I will say that to anyone that will ever listen. I'm really excited to introduce you to two people here that are from Canva that are going to talk a little bit about how to get started with Canva for education. I know, at least in my neck of the woods, we're kind of winding down our school years, but Canva is the one tool I think I use throughout the summer to build all kinds of crazy creative things, whether I'm trying to spam my friends with golf invites or I'm trying to, get a group together to just hang out. So Canva is always there for me. And Canva for Education, if you haven't looked into it quite yet, is just a game-changing tool. I can tell you from experience, as a former user that used it in school, Canva allowed me to do things in 3 minutes that it took others 2 days to create because it's so easy to use, and they'll kind of go into all of that. But I'm joined by George Lee and Jason Wilmot. They are very, very, very excited to get started with this session. We had talked a little bit before. George and I actually share a similar trajectory in education. George teaches media arts. So, George, why don't you start? Tell everybody where you're from and what you do there in San Francisco.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Yes, my name is George Lee. I've been teaching at San Francisco Unified School District at a local public high school here for the last 27 years. So I've seen technology literally change from one generation to another generation, couple of generations, I would say, in that 27 years. And I have to, and oftentimes when people talk to me about, what I use and what gets me excited, I have to say, try to get a 27-year veteran teacher excited about education is not easy. And I have to say, Canva got me excited about teaching again. And the reason why is because I think it goes to the essence of what I always believe from the very first day I started teaching, what education, learning, and creativity is about. So I'm kind of excited to share with you guys a little kind of a very quick assignment, that has to do with collaboration. All right.
Awesome. Jason, you want to introduce yourself? We're also joined by the rock star of Canva for Education, the head of Canva for Education, Jason Wilmot. Jason, tell a little bit about yourself, how you kind of got started with Canva, and I'll let you guys take it away. I'm going to get out of the way and let the genius of George and Jason present today, because I'm going to sit back. There's probably some things that I need to learn as well from Canva. Just a super user and a big fan. So Jason, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, Eddie. What you didn't know is you were giving the presentation today. You're such a super user. I'm just kidding. Well, thank you for having us, Eddie, and the rest of the Canvas team. I'm really excited. Jason Wilmot here. I've spent 17 years in ed tech, with the majority of it being at Microsoft. Came over to Canva about 8 months ago to lead up the education team. So excited to be here today and present to all of you wonderful educators around the US and around the world who are joining in today and who will be watching live. So with that, what is Canva for Education? So for those of you who don't know what Canva for Education is, it is a 100% free online design platform that enables district leaders, teachers, students to create anything you want in the world. It is currently used by over 11 million teachers and students on a monthly basis, and that just continues to grow rapidly. So we're excited to share this amazing design creation tool with you. And George and I are going to take you through a little bit about the Canvas and Canva integration, what that means for those of you who are using Canvas as a learning management system. And then George is going to go a little bit more from a teaching perspective, just to show you some tips and tricks on how to use Canva for Education. So with that, what's included? For those of you who don't know, it is including everything in Canva Pro. So if you go to Canva and check out what's in Pro, you get access to millions of templates, photos, fonts, icons, videos. You can create anything you want. From a group activity perspective, George is going to take us through a group activity later this afternoon in the session, but really you can have real-time student collaboration, project-based learning. It's an amazing tool for that. Talking presentations is another great thing you can do, where you can record yourself, add in different dynamics, and create an amazing presentation with video, pictures, elements, text, fonts, anything you want. A fun feature, background remover. If you've tried to use this in other tools, it can be very daunting. With a click of a button, you can actually remove the entire background of your image. We are 100% COPA FERPA compliant. We've signed the Student National Data Privacy Agreement across multiple states in the United States. And then finally, what we're here to talk about is the LMS integration with Canvas. And we have multiple single sign-on options through Microsoft, Google, ClassLink. So we're really excited about what is included in Canva for Education. We hope you guys are as well. So some of the ready-use templates here, we've got Meet the Teacher, we've got lesson plans, we've got worksheets, we've got virtual backgrounds, right? We have over 60,000 education templates that were created by teachers for teachers. We've got students using it for book reports, infographics, anything you can think of, and these are all included at no charge in our Canva for Education suite. So let's get set up. So to sign up, if you're an individual teacher, you just want to go to canva.com/edu-signup if you don't have an account. So for teachers on the left, just sign up now. You'll validate your teaching credentials. Canva for Education will be unlocked and you'll have all the access to the premium features. Now, if you're a district and you want to actually set up single sign-on, what does this actually mean? So if you want to sign up and you click the district page, what we will do is we will work with you as a school district. We will get you signed up with single sign-on. You'll have district-wide access. You can centrally manage. We have a bunch of management controls and brand kits that you can use to ensure that there is a consistency across brand across your school district. We have some free professional development partnerships, and then obviously the LMS integration with Canvas works best with district enablement. And then obviously if you have any strategic support that you need, we will provide personalized reporting, analysis. We're happy to work with you on that district setup as well. So if you are from a district, feel free to contact us, drop your name in the chat window, we'll contact you. But this is really kind of where we're trying to get entire school districts on board with Canva for Education to unlock the power for your students, educators, and even your staff. So next, once you've signed up your district, how do you connect Canva with your LMS, with Canvas? So we're going to take you through some quick steps about how to connect it, and then also some really cool features that are coming in the next couple weeks. So first, you want to enable the LMS integration. So you're going to create a district account for Canva, once again, free. And then once you do that, you'll go to the account settings in Canva. You'll click on billing and terms. That's where you'll enable the LTI integration. Hopefully, many of you guys are comfortable with the consumer key and the shared secret key. This is what you'll use to set up Canva in Canvas. And you can see there's a quick little image to help walk you through that. Once you've done that, you will then launch the Canvas LMS. That's a great play on words. And from the admin page, you'll go to the settings, click on apps, find Canva for Education. Once you search for Canva for Education, that's where you then can add the app. You'll add the consumer key, the shared secret key, which was copied from Canva in step 1, and we will share these guides with you. At that point, you are ready to go. So you can add Canva. So after you've integrated, teachers can now join Canva for Education Classroom from the course sidebar in Canvas. All teachers need to do is click on Canva for Education to automatically, using SSO and LTI, create an account. So once the teacher has set up, how do you actually use it from a teacher perspective and a student and connecting with Canva and Canvas as your LMS? Well, that's great. So what you can do is you can make a design from a blank template, or you can edit a ready-use template that we have. So you're going to launch Canva from your LMS and create any design you want. And George is going to go a little deeper on some of the design stuff. But once again, if you start a design, you can actually start with a blank template. You can edit the text, colors, images, videos, and more. You can do anything you want from these templates. So we're going to get you in Canva later in this presentation and get you guys designing and creating some beautiful art from George. Once you've actually made a design in Canva, that's where you can actually share the design. So when you launch Canva from your LMS and actually create the design you want to share, if you look up in the top right corner of Canva, you can see 3 little dots. That is where you can publish any design. Basically, you can embed the link anywhere you want. You can present it directly from Canva, as I'm doing today in the presentation. Or once again, you can actually see multiple options and you can share on the LMS. So once again, what is coming in the next 2 weeks is you will see a direct sharing to Canvas LMS. So if you've integrated your Canvas learning management system directly from Canva, you can publish a design to your learning management systems so your students can actually work on that template. They can turn it back into you, and they can actually complete the assignment that you've assigned to them. So pretty cool stuff coming soon. So this is how it would work in terms of creating an assignment in Canvas and adding a Canva design. So once you select and create assignment in Canvas LMS, that's where you would select the external tool and you would choose Canva. Once you are in Canva, you can create the design that you want your students to work on. All you've got to do is click publish. Once you publish that design and you post it, your students now have access to log into Canva, complete the assignment directly from the learning management system. They never need to leave Canvas. They open Canvas, they see the assignment, they complete the assignment in Canva, and that's where it can actually work. This will be launched in a couple of weeks, so it's not quite ready yet, but we wanted to share with you guys what's coming soon. So once again, how would a student actually submit the assignment? They log directly into your learning management system, Canvas, and from the top right menu, they choose the class to submit it to, they choose the assignment they're actually completing, they select attach, and they actually attach the Canva design to the assignment. Once again, very simple, you never leave Canvas. Canva is just popped up in front, and at that point, they go to the Canvas learning management system to turn in. So you can see it's a very seamless process where once again you're using Canvas as a learning management system, but you're creating the design in Canva, they're completing the assignment, whether it's an infographic, a poster, a worksheet, you submit it, it all is done and completed within Canvas as your learning management system. So it's a pretty cool system that you have. Now as a teacher, you can review your students' work that is a Canva design. So if you go to assignments, select the assignments to look at what the students have turned in. You select the Canva link from your learning management system. You can add comments to it. You can do whatever you want, add quick little, hey, this is great work, keep working on it. Or if you want them to continue to edit it, you can have them edit it. That is where you would go back to the Canvas LMS, add it, mark it, grade it, and return it back to the student. Canva is just the design platform that the students are completing the work in, and Canvas is the learning management system that is facilitating the interaction between the students and the teachers. So now, how would we get organized in Canva for Education? So now, let's think about how you actually get organized. So if you've never used Canva before, designs are really thinking about where all the work can be shared with your class. Folders are a place where you can organize work, draft work, and you can really share with your students. You can actually add students to folders, so only specific students if you're running a small project, or if you want to open it up to the class as well. Groups are larger groups typically, where you're thinking about an entire class or a club, but they also can be used for small groups. All right, George, we ready to start designing and editing?
Yeah, so let's go back a little bit to the previous slide because my class is right there. It says George Lee's class.
All right, George. That's great.
Hey, George. George
So welcome to my.
George,
yes. Yes,
sorry, I'm throwing some questions at you. Really quick, we had them come in, and I want to pop in here, kind of at the halfway point.
Awesome.
Preston Smith from our YouTube page says, "Can Canva be integrated into Canvas at a higher educational level, like a higher institution?" Which I believe it's kind of the same in Canva and Canvas the same way, but I believe you've only talked about K-12. Do you want to speak to that real quick?
Yeah, Eddie, let me jump in there. Absolutely, it's the same integration. However, Canva for Education is a specific tool for K through 12. We do have other options for higher education, but the integration will work the same. So I'm happy to meet with any higher education institution out there. I believe, Preston, I saw your name come across the window with the question. Feel free to contact me directly. But yes, the integration is the same. There's just some different offerings that we have for higher education.
So another comment that came in on our YouTube page, Ryan here said, "I know that you said Canva for Education is free for educators, but what about district licenses? Does that work the same way?"
Great question. Same way. District licensing is free. It is not a freemium model. It is 100% free. We just want to make sure that we're setting up districts in the right way with single sign-on. So that is all 100% free.
Perfect. And I know at the end of the session, we'll probably share some contact information for you guys if there are people that are joining us today. And we have a ton of people joining. The chat is popping, very hot right now. So as people kind of come in, we'll go ahead and throw your contact information here at the end, just to make sure if people want to get a hold of you, they can do that. So sorry, George. Sorry, Jason.
No worries.
It's your show, but I wanted to make sure we got to those questions.
No, we gotta get the structure ready before I can, kind of go into my classroom. It's kind of like gotta build a building before you put the people in, right?
There you go.
So now we're in my classroom, so this is my classroom, and I'm a teacher. And before I kind of started using Canva, I used to use all these other places, but now literally all my students now come to Canva Classroom. This is where they come every single day. And especially over this last year of virtual learning, this is the meeting place. We start off in Zoom, and then boom, hey, let's go to Canva. And all my lessons are actually designed in Canva. And then I distribute it to them, whichever way that we do. But Canva is the centralized location. And the nice thing about this is that the Canva Classroom is a designed classroom. So what that means is that my lessons, my classrooms, my workflow is now designed in a way that serves my teaching and my students' learning needs. Okay, next. So now today we're gonna, next slide.
Yep, there we go, George.
So we're gonna basically start doing a kind of a very quick assignment. So you guys are gonna pretend to be my students. Next. So I'm going to put a link.
Actually, Eddie's doing that for you right now, George.
Okay, so the link is there. So as I go to that assignment, I should be able to see a whole bunch of people kind of popping up into this classroom. So if you want to join us in this kind of a wonderful creative assignment, please come and join us.
And Eddie, hopefully you posted that over so folks can join with us. And once again, all you got to do is click on that link and you'll log into Canva. If you don't have a Canva account, just log in with a free account on canva.com. You don't need an education or a pro account to do this activity. And we'll hopefully see some folks joining up here in the top right window. You can see George is in this as well.
Yeah, Jason,
myself.
I shared the link. Unfortunately, StreamYard, the program that we're using to stream is a little funky every once in a while with these links. So I'm going to create a bit.ly really quick. It has to be a certain number of characters or it doesn't get posted over to YouTube correctly or Twitter correctly.
Awesome.
So I'm going to what do we call this in media arts, George? We'd like you to fill a little time here.
No, absolutely.
As some things get created in the back end, but just give me 2 seconds.
This is what we do in teaching, right? Always. This is nothing new for me. It's been a year of this, so not to worry. Right. So basically, let me explain this assignment a little bit. So one of the wonderful things about Canva is this thing called simultaneous collaboration. And what does that really mean? One of the things that we used to use, when we wanted to do collaborative work in the classroom is to use Google Doc. That's just what we did, right? We would use Google, and then everybody hop on and everybody will write something. And this is the place where the minds starting to meet. But what that was it was based on text. It was based on words. So what is happening now with Canva is that now we can incorporate a visual language, visual symbology. So a lot of the times the storytelling, then instead of just using words, we're now having the possibility of using visual representations. Now, a lot of my students are newcomers, or they have different kind of learning stages. So one of the things that I found really, really useful is to be able to kind of incorporate the visual language into their expression, into their learning. So what this assignment is a very simple assignment. Kandinsky is amazing and is a very famous painter. And what he does is he uses very simple elements of art and the principle of design. So I'm going to give you the instruction about how to use this. So when you hop in, you can just kind of go right to work. So Kandinsky uses like beautiful colors, lines, shapes, forms. So if you think about what the elements of art are, it's kind of actually right here. So if I put in line, right? There's all these lines, and I put graphics. There's all these things. So Canva has literally millions and millions of visual images that you can drop on. And then you can then kind of go to one of the studios and you can basically click. And then now you have one element that is on there. And the next student then can add to it and add to it and add to it. So it becomes a collaborative, creative process for the students. Now, when we did this assignment, we were basically virtual learning. And what I did is I created basically from a blank template. I wanted them to kind of feel kind of this, almost like as if it was they were in a studio, they were in the classroom. So that's why there's this thing called Table 1, our studio. So now we have people coming and joining in. So this, and I created basically 6 different studio spaces for the students to join. And when we did this, we had up to 70 students working at the same time. And what you're seeing just kind of as we're beginning here is very, very kind of similar to what Jason and Ryan is now working. So wonderful. So basically go to, as you're coming into this workspace, choose one table, right? And if you go to the notes section, you're going to be able to see basically the name. So I put, to personalize it further, to kind of replicate what the real classroom looks like. I put chair 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically you can have about maybe 6 students per each one of the studios. So when you are now, let me see, are more people coming in? Okay.
Looks like we got Ryan in. I'll add Ryan to our table.
Okay. So maybe the 2 of you can work on the first table. So just continue to kind of basically add your images to this. Now, I can imagine doing this, kind of doing more like kind of almost like as a summary for a reading, for a reading assignment. They can do this together for biology. So whatever assignment or content that you have that you feel you want to basically have, basically a meeting of the mind, a space. So this is a very good way to kind of do that. The other thing that makes it really, really amazing to me is when you have about 30 students all working at the same time, there's a function here that allows you to basically click on the lower right-hand side. And you can basically kind of click on that and you see all of the templates displayed on one, in one window. And why is that important? The reason why that is important is because, here you go, thank you, Jason. The reason why that is important is because a lot of the times as teachers, when we're teaching, we're wondering, what are my students thinking? What are they really thinking about when they're doing the assignment? When I click on the little tiles and I get to see basically all of the working spaces, literally is an animation of my students' thinking process in real time. So when I see something that is that requires my reply or my comments, I go to that page and then I use the site where there's an add comment, so I can basically give comments literally in real time. So I get to see my students' thinking process in real time, and I can give comments in real time. Now, when was the last time?
George, it looks like a few folks entered our present. It looks like the Bitleys maybe got confused.
Yeah,
it looks like you're reposting.
There were two links in the private chat. So the first one got sent out early, and I think like 22 of the people that were joining us today were in that one. But we're making corrections. So if you're still with us and you weren't super frustrated with that whole process, there is a new Bitly. I will post it 3 or 4 more times. Go ahead and click that bad boy. But you can see now George is probably like, oh, someone decided to show up for class today. So
here we go. Now they're joining though. We got them joining, and I'll click back out of the grid view. So and as George said, pick a table and start editing away. You can just see what we're doing. Hey, there we go, Brad. Comment. We made it. All right. We got people coming in.
Here's the creative process. So I encourage you to kind of, you can use this, right now on this table 1. You can use just the basic elements. So you can use the basic elements, type in whatever signs, whatever triangle shapes, whatever image that comes to your mind. And when you're working on this thing, try to see what the overall image is already on the page. So relate it, connect it to one other image that you feel is connected to your sense of creativity, your narrative. We did this for a movie analysis where the students actually created basically a scene. Like imagine 30 students creating a reinterpretation analysis of a scene in a movie. And we watched the movie Minari for the Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month last month. So we did that. So it was an amazing thing. So you can see how there are different elements are just coming together. And then there we go. So we now have, table 4 is now beginning to, we have table 6. You can just basically choose whichever one. And if you find one that kind of piques your interest, there you go. Thank you. And me as a teacher, I'm able to see the tiles. Literally, this is now seeing my students' creativity and their thinking process. So no more guessing around what they're thinking about. Right now, you can see
somebody's thinking about how many days left in school, I think, George.
So there we go. I mean, that's a very interesting background to use basically as storyboards there. I mean, so basically it gives you a sense of the power of this tool, right? It goes beyond of what is just in the worksheet, but it gives you literally the thinking and the learning process that our students is going, our students is going through. And that's what makes a 27-year-old veteran teacher excited. It's kind of almost like another view into my students' learning. Okay?
That's great, George.
So we can work on this. There are some slides at the after this where we can spend a little bit more time on this, right? Should we do that?
Okay, absolutely.
Yep. And just shuffle through the different slides and just enjoy the kind of the images that's being created. And I'm giving you very little direction, right? I mean, but then if you look at it, things are happening. And as you're kind of working, you see the other people who are working on the same page by that, by how the names are appearing on there. You can give comments, to each other. You can go to other studios and give them comments. So it becomes a very interactive and very kind of engaging type of an activity. Okay, 5 days till summer.
Looks like somebody added a table here, so that's a new feature that somebody found, which is awesome. I'm glad you found the table and the graphical interface, so that's great.
Yeah. And as you guys are working on this thing, I'm just going to kind of, tell you what are some of the other, templates that we have to offer here in Canva. We have a lot of worksheets, and these worksheets are basically really, when we design these worksheets, we don't just create a worksheet that is just out of the blue. We actually use the content standards, and we're always improving on, the quality and the specific subjects based on the content standards. And the content standards, as you know, is basically organized by grade level and by learning goals. And then another thing that is really, really interesting is the posters. Now, when I think about posters, I don't just think of it as, oh yeah, let's just make something pretty. When I use posters as a template, I usually think, okay, what is the thinking process or the learning pattern that I want? And usually it's much more organic. So if I have content or knowledge that requires a more organic understanding or organic expression of their understanding, I tend to use posters because it's a flat space. It allows me to move around, from side to side, up and down. But if I have a very logical sequence of kind of instructions or subject matter, like say historical chronological events, or say mathematical calculations or scientific experiment that requires very logical sequencing, I tend to use infographics, and every single assignment that I do, because I teach in a cohort or what is called a pathway, so all my lessons are integrated. There's not one lesson that is not integrated. I send it to my English teacher, I send it to my biology teacher, I send it to my physics teachers, chemistry teachers, math teachers, social studies teachers, and then they literally use that lesson template that I created, and we actually do our collaborative grading together. So our students now are not truncated in their learning. So they see this learning as literally everything in school is relevant. In my econ class, in my economics for my seniors, we created an entire business plan. And this is in collaboration with my English teachers who taught them how to write correct sentences, grammatical, to fix on their grammars, and I have the econ teachers are teaching them about the capitalist system, about the business, all the things that pertain in economics. And here I am, I'm teaching them about how to make a online, basically digital storefront. So again, it is an amazing tool for collaboration. It's an amazing tool for creativity. It's an amazing tool for viewing what your students are thinking in real time.
Yeah, I love George. That's just that really hits the nail, right? That is exactly what a lot of teachers out there are looking for, and just fantastic. We had some comments come in there at the end, kind of reset. I want to answer some of these because I do think they're important. Ryan popped in again and said, when using the photos, videos, and music, are these all Creative Commons approved?
Yeah, so great question, Ryan. So we actually have multiple layers on Canva for Education around both the photos, videos, elements that we actually do use machine learning. So we have safe search where students can't even search for inappropriate words. We're consistently trying to stay on top of that, but students are pretty creative. We have machine learning over our image library, which are safe for schools. So we're actually filtering down the Canva Pro image library for safe for schools. And then we also have manual audits as well. So we are doing everything we can to make this product safe for schools based on the photos, the images, the videos, and we'll continue to improve our service.
Yeah,
we are COPA compliant as well.
Yeah, one of our huge fans of Canvas out there, Chris Giles, said, this is pretty risky live, but he loves it.
Hey, we love taking risks, Chris, so we're good on that.
Yeah. Our good friend Brad Moser says, dude, I can't stop designing. This is so rad, like Google Docs, but for designs. Love, 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 love it. So we'll let you get back to the action here, George. But
just, what Ryan brought up is what teachers go through all the time, which is classroom management, right? And because it's so interactive, it's so absolutely interactive that you can actually see what the students are doing in real time. So a lot of the times I have not had any problem with content at all in this entire year of teaching, so I think it's because of the interactivity of it and in real time. I think that kind of really makes classroom management much, much easier. And I'm so looking forward to using this in the real classroom, because when I go back to the classroom in August, I'm going to be able to project this onto the screen, right? And the students are going to have their computers and their laptops, which, all of them are now basically expert at using, so it's going to be an amazing experience. I think this next school year is going to be just a year of amazing innovation, but innovation that is humanistic, that allows us to be in this physical space at the same time, really have this quantum leap in being able to communicate in ways that we never thought possible. So I'm super excited about this coming year because being in the classroom and using this technology is going to elevate literally the learning with that personalized in the same space kind of interactions. Okay.
That's great, George. And I'm just kind of following a couple questions here. I'm going to kind of go top to bottom here. So Chris asked, can that be submitted in Canvas or used in Canvas collaborations or group assignments? Chris, we touched on at the beginning. So assignment will be ready in the next couple of weeks where you can actually create a Canva assignment directly from Canvas. Students will log into Canvas. They click the Canva button. They'll be taken to Canva where they can complete the assignment and submit it back directly through Canvas. So that integration is coming. Let's just scan a couple more. How accessible is it? Alt text, screen reader compatible. We do have alt text on the roadmap. I'd have to double check when the roadmap is coming, Kim, but we are working very quick and fast to make this an accessible tool. So things like alt text, screen reader compatibility, those are all in our roadmap to make sure that we are making this tool accessible for everybody. I think those are the two questions that I saw. I'm just kind of scanning the comments. Yep. Perfect.
And I think that Chris asked a question, about, I think we addressed that because the teachers we're actively engaged in the, in the students' learning. So I think that really helps manage the classroom and the students' behaviors online. So, okay. All right. So should we continue to kind of work on this a little? How much more time do we have still?
I think we're out of time, George. Unfortunately, I think which is great, which is good. That's always good. So, I mean, I think really quickly, just to close, I'll just quickly go through all the different presentation types over the next 30 seconds. We have presentations, lesson plan outlines, parent and school announcements, infographics, posters, as George touched on, of all different types, worksheets, virtual classroom kits, group work activities, student video templates, social emotional learning activities. All you got to do is sign up here. If you are a district, please, Eddie can leave my contact information. If you want to get your district onboarded, I know we're working with Chris Giles on getting their district onboarded. Please just contact me. It's free. We will work with you to get single sign-on set up. We'll work with you to get Canvas LMS integrated. Our team is on standby to help work. So, Eddie, I don't know how we close these sessions, but I want to make sure we respect everyone's time. So I'll turn it back to you.
Yeah, appreciate that. So I think I think we got the session thing a little mixed up, but I want to put the session link in there for those people that are looking for all the links and kind of want to go back and click some of those find out more things. This has been absolutely fantastic. Content drives a lot of these live streams, and when I told you it was like fangirls in the park, seeing their favorite boy band. As soon as I said Canvas coming to the live streams, you should have seen some of the comments we had. So everybody out there, please give a thanks to George and Jason, our presenters today, for Canva for Education. Canva and Canvas. It is a match made in heaven. That's not my words. That's your words coming through in the comments. Hearts pounding with all the happiness. So excited, Jason, to talk to you. Looks like Sam here. Can't wait to get their district set up. We've got people excited to talk to you today, Jason. Tisha's out there, Tisha Richmond. And obviously, she is a fangirl for sure. So huge fangirls all around, and even me. As soon as you guys came on, I was like, oh, thanks for joining us, Cam. I'm so excited. But we do really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for a great session.
Thank you.
One last thing, Eddie. Connect with us. Connect with me on LinkedIn. If you don't have my information, I'm happy to help. But Eddie, thank you so much for the time, and thank you guys for taking the time out of your day. Thank you for everything you do for the classroom and the students all around the world. Look forward to connecting with all of you. Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.